One night in France, the police are seen chasing three robbers who have just stolen luxury watches. They escape on heavily modified motorcycles built for extreme speed. The pursuit is led by a special officer named Charlie. But despite the chase, the three robbers get away.
Reçu, c'est suivi.
Charlie à terre.
Alpha, vous avez reçu. TM51, allez-y.
Hors de question, ils sont à ma portée. Arrête-toi.
Répondez.
And this is where their story accelerates. This is TMAX. The next morning at an off-road racetrack, a young rider named Michael is casually watching other racers prepare. His older sister, Soélie, tells him to get ready because his race is about to start. This track actually belongs to their family. Their father and late mother were once legendary racers. Soélie herself used to race too, but she stopped after a serious accident. Now she works as a mechanic and manager for her brother. The race begins, but unfortunately, Michael loses. Later, while he is cleaning his bike, their father Daniel shows up. He is frustrated. He has always told Michael to train harder, but Michael rarely listens and just slacks off. Seeing the argument escalate, Soélie steps in to calm both of them. Meanwhile, at the police station, Charlie is being scolded by his superior for failing to catch the robbers. Charlie explains that the robbery was too well planned. He believes someone from the store helped them, and the modified bikes made the chase impossible. His superior does not care. She orders him to form a special team. The motorcycles were expensive, so there is no excuse for failure. Charlie is left speechless. Elsewhere, one of the robbers tries to commit another theft by attacking a driver stuck in traffic. However, this attempt goes wrong. The driver fights back and beats him severely. The robber eventually recovers enough to strike back and flee.
C'est bon, dans ta caisse! Remonte dans ta caisse!
That evening, during dinner, Daniel reveals the seriousness of their situation. Because Michael lost the race earlier, all of their sponsors have withdrawn. Daniel finally admits that he is bankrupt. He is buried in debt, owing 150,000 euros. If Michael had won, the sponsors would have provided funding to cover the payments. Now, if they fail to pay, they will lose the track and their home. Daniel only sees one option. He will have to sell all the racing bikes he and his late wife once rode together. Hearing this, both of his children are shocked and upset. Michael insists he can help. A friend offered him work testing new racing bikes. But instead of being relieved, Daniel gets angry. He tells Michael that doing some unclear job is useless. Michael should focus on training and stop losing races. Hurt and disappointed, Michael storms out. The next morning, Michael brings Soélie to meet his friend Yasin to test a newly developed racing bike. Yasin introduces the bike's technician, Theo, and the owner, Elias. While examining the bike, Soélie immediately notices something is off. The bike feels too heavy. Theo gets offended, questioning how a woman could possibly know more about bikes. Elias, curious, suggests they test her theory by letting Michael ride it.
Ça manque de patates.
Laisse pas retomber le régime moteur. Reste haut dans les tours.
Michael takes the bike through the track and obstacles. The moment he finishes, Elias realizes Soélie was right. He is impressed. Not long after that, Charlie arrives looking for Yasin. At the robbery scene the night before, the police found a pair of gloves. The fingerprints matched Yasin. Suddenly, from outside, Charlie's partner shouts that Yasin is escaping using Michael's motorcycle. The chase ends when Yasin loses control and crashes. He is finally arrested. For now, Michael's motorcycle is seized by the police as evidence. After the police leave, Soélie and Michael go to Elias' workshop to ask for payment in compensation for the bike that was taken. After receiving the money just as Soélie is about to leave, Elias offers her a job modifying his motorcycles. If she is interested, she can come back anytime. Once Soélie leaves, Theo immediately protests. He questions why Elias would bring in an outsider. What if she finds out who they are? Because the truth is, the three robbers from the luxury watch store were Yasin, Elias, and Theo. Elias tries to calm him down. Instead of worrying about Soélie, he tells Theo to focus on their next heist. That night in the garage, Soélie finds Daniel quietly looking at their late mother's favorite motorcycle. He wonders why his wife loved that bike so much. Its frame was weak, the engine was difficult, and it was hard to control. Soélie tells him that maybe it was special because it reminded her of him, full of flaws, but still loved. Daniel falls silent and walks away. It is in that moment that Soélie realizes her father is also struggling to let go of the memories tied to that bike. To help the family get through the debt, Soélie decides to accept Elias's job. Meanwhile, outside the police station, as Yasin is being transferred to prison, a drunk man suddenly causes chaos and starts fighting the officers. In the confusion, Yasin escapes. The police try to chase him, but they are ordered to stop. It turns out this was part of Charlie's plan. Before the escape, Charlie had planted a tracking device on Yasin to trace the other two members of the gang. The next morning, Elias hears the news about Yasin escaping. He immediately asks Theo if he knows where Yasin went, but Theo has no idea. This frustrates Elias. If Yasin is tracked, they could all be exposed. Not long after, Soélie arrives and says she accepts the job offer. Without hesitation, Elias closes his workshop and takes her into a hidden room. Inside are 3 motorcycles. He explains that he wants them to be lighter, faster, and stronger. Before starting, Soélie sets her condition. She wants 100,000 euros, along with a lifetime guarantee. If they need modifications again, she will do it for free. Elias agrees and tells her she can start that night. When she gets home, Soélie finds Daniel and Michael talking to Charlie. Charlie is there to inform them that Michael's motorcycle is still being held by the police, and also to question them about the robbery group he is investigating. Since Michael was known to be friends with Yasin, Charlie believes they might know something. After Charlie leaves, Soélie explains everything to her father so he will trust that the money she brought home came from Elias. Instead of being relieved, Daniel becomes furious. He blames both of them, especially Michael. He tells them that instead of helping, they are only making things harder and even getting involved with the police. He calls them useless. That night, Elias visits one of his workers, who has access to high-security transport routes. Luxury stores use that service to move expensive goods. This time, Elias wants to steal a shipment of diamonds. After reviewing the travel route, he instructs his worker to attach a tracker to the transport vehicle. Meanwhile, back at the workshop, Soélie and Theo begin the motorcycle modification work. Day by day, they test and refine the machines, growing more familiar with each other as they work side by side. Days pass, and the motorcycles Soélie has been working on are finally complete. During that time, she and Theo grow closer.
Allez!
One morning after finishing a test ride, Theo asks why she stopped racing. Soélie explains that the day she learned her mother had died from cancer, she completely broke down. Her mother had kept the illness a secret, never telling anyone. Overwhelmed with grief, anger, and confusion, Soélie took her bike and rode as fast as she could, pushing herself past every limit until she crashed in a terrible accident. Since then, every time she rides, the pain of that moment comes back. The trauma never really left her. Hearing this, Theo quietly understands, and from that moment, his feelings for her begin to deepen. Later that day at home, Michael receives a message from Yasin. Yasin says he is out and offers him a job. If interested, he should meet at Elias' workshop that night. Michael hesitates. He is scared of dealing with the police again, but wanting to prove to Daniel that he is not useless, he decides to go. That night behind the workshop, Elias is confused to see Michael appear. Before Michael can say anything, Yasin arrives. He explains that he is now a fugitive, so for the time being, Michael is expected to take his place in their upcoming robbery. Elias immediately objects. Michael is inexperienced. One mistake could get them all caught. Soélie arrives just in time to overhear the argument. Suddenly, Elias pulls out a gun and shoots Yasin, killing him on the spot.
Je me suis enfui, je suis clean. Je prends ma part et je me monte au bled, c'est tout. Basta.
When Soélie steps inside, she is shocked to see her brother there. Elias forces Michael to grab the gun, making sure his fingerprints are all over it. If she does not want her brother to be framed for murder, Then she must take Yasin's place in the robbery tomorrow. Elias has already done his research. He knows she is a far better rider than Michael. With no way out, Soélie reluctantly agrees. After everyone leaves, Charlie arrives at the scene. When examining Yasin's body, he finds a piece of paper with a map. He believes it marks the location of the next robbery. At home, Soélie tries to calm Michael, who is shaken by what happened. She promises that all of this will end soon. Once he settles down, she goes to the back of the house where Theo is waiting for her. Theo apologizes. He had no idea Elias would take things this far. Soélie's anger erupts. She regrets ever getting involved with them. Theo tries to explain that this might be their final job, and once it is done, they can all walk away. He tells her to stay calm. He has a plan. All he needs is her trust. Seeing the sincerity in him, Soélie finally agrees. She chooses to believe him. The next morning, Soélie practices riding again. She uses her late mother's favorite motorcycle, unaware that Daniel is watching from a distance. When she finishes, he approaches her. He tells her she reminds him so much of her mother. He apologizes for having to sell the other bikes. He explains that he once failed to protect his wife from her illness, and now he refuses to fail his children. He promises he will find a way to settle their debts. With tears in his eyes, he says seeing his daughter brave enough to ride again makes him incredibly proud. Soélie is moved.
Le plaisir que tu prends sur cette moto, ma fille, c'est la chose la plus belle que j'ai vue depuis longtemps.
Later that day, Soélie and Theo head to Elias' hideout. There, Elias lays out the plan for their next heist. When everything is ready, the three of them set out. Their target is a man transporting a large uncut diamond, escorted by armed security after landing from a helicopter. The vehicle has already been marked with a tracker, so once its location is confirmed, Soélie and the others prepare to strike.
Soélie, à mon signal. Attention! Les pierres! Me prends pas pour un con.
The robbery happens fast and with precision. The vehicle is disabled, the guards are overwhelmed, and the diamond is taken. The plan works. But just as they are about to escape, Charlie arrives. The group splits up. Charlie orders his team to chase Soélie and Elias while he goes after Theo, who has the diamond. A high-speed chase cuts through the streets of Paris. During the pursuit, both Charlie and Theo crash. Moments later, Soélie reaches Theo and urges him to get on. But Theo refuses. He hands her the bag containing the diamond and tells her to go, to stick to the plan. Seeing her ride off with the diamond, Charlie turns his attention to chasing her. With her exceptional riding skill, Soélie weaves through the narrow city streets, moving faster than the police can close in. From a distance, Elias sees Soélie cornered and moves in to help, leading to another intense chase. Eventually, Soélie escapes, while Elias and Charlie crash nearby. The two men, injured and exhausted, end up in a brutal fight by the river. Charlie eventually passes out, but manages to handcuff Elias before losing consciousness. When Soélie arrives, Elias begs her to unlock the cuffs. He says the gun fell into the river and that they need to regroup because Theo is waiting. Soélie hands him the bag, but when he opens it, it is empty. She reveals the truth. Theo escaped with the real diamond. Their split earlier was part of their plan. She deliberately carried the empty bag and led the police toward the river to force Elias into this position. Even if he still had a weapon, she would have thrown it away. Now he has no way to escape. She warns him not to expose her. If she is ever arrested, she and Theo will tell the police that Elias killed Yasin. The punishment for that would be far worse. With that, she leaves him there, stunned and powerless. 1 year later, at the racetrack, the riders prepare for a new competition. As Daniel approaches his children, Charlie appears. He says that he has continued investigating. He is convinced Soélie and Michael were involved in the diamond heist. There was no evidence before, but if they ever dare to steal again, he promises he will personally see them locked away. After Charlie leaves, the race is about to begin. From a distance, Theo watches quietly. This time, not only Michael, but also Soélie stands at the starting line. She rides her mother's beloved motorcycle once more. So the moral of the story is sometimes the people we love the most are the ones we hurt while trying to protect them. And by the time we realize what truly matters, the damage is already done.